No question. And Shaun and Cynthia, I feel like I say Tom Brady's name more than I do my own these days. I'm sure the Chiefs players can say the same thing right about now. But Shaun, when we look at the other side here, KC now has this task of filling a vital spot on the offensive line. Put us in that O-line room. Will the Chiefs be able to fill that void left by Eric Fisher?
Yeah, MJ, this is a huge void. Eric Fisher tearing his Achilles, right before the biggest game of the year. That's not ideal. So no doubt they're going to have to find a way to create some chips, help him out. You don't want to get him one-on-one on third and long situations. So, JPP, look, he took advantage of the Green Bay Packers backup left tackle, Billy Turner, last week, got 2 sacks against him. And this is what Mike Remmers is going to have to face in filling in. This is just a little Euro step right here, a little outside hand chop, beats Billy Turner right here. Look at that outside hand right there. And once he gets that shoulder, JPP can run the circle. So now he sets him up, all right? He beat him to the outside. Now he gets Billy Turner to open up, and now he just pries him open like a beer can on his way to the quarterback. Watch that inside hand right there. He grabs his wrist. Great hand control. JPP is a handful. So this is what Mike Remmers is going to be faced with now, and you don't want to see JPP dropping the sledgehammer in your backfield on your quarterback.
All right, Cynthia, I want you to bring it back to Tom here. How did the Buccaneers keep Tom Brady in a favorable passing situation, of course, clean and protected?
Yeah, so if you look at the strategy that Steve Spagnuolo has implemented this season, you'll see that they didn't bring a lot of pressure. Meaning, if you look to see the pressure rate, they actually ranked in the bottom 10 in the NFL in terms of 23.3. That's the next-gen stat. That's how often they brought pressure. It's actually even lower since the playoffs, only 22.2. The interesting thing here is they dropped back in coverage, and they were really good at defending 10-plus air yard passes. So if you look to see how Tristan Wirfs and this O-line is going to navigate this, it's going to be to leverage the run game. Ronald Jones has been a surprise. Of course, Leonard Fournette, especially in the playoffs. But if you look at Ronald Jones, Rojo had 219 rushing yards over expected. So this is kind of a metric that says, okay, we thought he was going to get this many given the down distance and situation, but he exceeded that at the 5th best rate in the NFL. So that's a really nice uptick that keeps Tom Brady from having to pass on every down.
All right, well, we've been talking all week about the insanity of Tom Brady's reign, right, Cynthia? But let me just paint a broader picture. I want you both to take a look at this, everyone at home as well. So Tom Brady's probability of making a Super Bowl as a starter is 50%, which means him being the marquee guy here in another championship is more likely than any team in the NFL to convert a third down in 2020. The Bills had the highest this season, and they were at 49.7%. Another thing he's more likely than doing, Michael Jordan or Steph Curry to make a shot, Babe Ruth to get on base, or Sidney Crosby to score a goal in an NHL game. Are you kidding me? I mean, when you look across the sports landscape here, guys, he's on another tier. This is ridiculous.
Also proves that football quarterback's the most valuable in any sport. So when you look to see the Tom Brady, look, that 50%, that's a very fun rate, and that Michael Jordan number and the Steph Curry, I kind of trying to figure out which one's better, because Steph does take the long-range jumper, like Tom Brady with the deep pass.
Yeah, and I'll just say, look, for Tom Brady to have that 50% ratio when you're relying on 10 other guys on the field to do their jobs every single time, and then 11 guys defensively to do their job, that's pretty remarkable.
But you know what it also gives? It gives plenty of inspiration to the players trying to come into the league and be as great as Tom is. And of course, we're talking about Reese's Senior Bowl, which, by the way, you can catch tomorrow night right here on NFL Network, or tomorrow afternoon, rather, at 2:30 Eastern. It was an unprecedented college football season, and tomorrow's draft prospects get a chance to really shine, like Notre Dame defensive end Dalen Hayes, who impressed this week in Mobile. He even put tackle Spencer Brown on his back at practice. Hayes is ready to make it all count on the next level.
That I'm the most dominant player here in the draft. Like, I want to show guys, I think guys have a lot of questions about my pass rush production. So I'm excited to be able to come down here and show guys what I can do and be able to compete against the best. So yeah, I really want to show them that I'm a competitor, that I'm the best player in the draft, and that I can be as productive as anyone. So I'm excited.
And And as for Daniel Jeremiah's top 50 prospects in the draft, the top 10 feature the following. Clemson QB Trevor Lawrence in the top spot. BYU quarterback Caleb Farley rounds out the top 5, and Heisman Trophy winner and Alabama wide receiver Devontae Smith as the 7th top prospect. Sirianni was introduced as the new head coach in Philadelphia and almost immediately was met with questions about their quarterback position. No hard and fast answers there from Sirianni, who says he's going to look at every factor.
What we need to do is evaluate the entire roster. We have a lot of things to go through with these next couple weeks of evaluating the entire roster and every position. Quarterback, wide receiver, defensive back. That is what we're going to be diving into here. And it's great. I mean, we have two quarterbacks in Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts that are top-notch. They're top-notch quarterbacks. And a lot of teams don't have any. And so just really excited to work with both of them.
All right, let's take a look at some other layers here with Shaun and Cynthia. And Cynthia, you've looked at all the analytics of how Sirianni could really handle this quarterback situation. So what's your assessment about how this could all play out in Philly?
Well, I think it's interesting that you have two quarterbacks and you're not saying what you want yet. That's good. We've seen other teams give away their leverage position or other players give away their leverage position. So this is a positive note for them from that regard. However, when you look to see hiring Brian Johnson, who has really direct ties to Jalen Hurts, that could kind of give away an opportunity to kind of show your hand a little bit. So when you look to see where Jalen Hurts has a lot of productive value, he's a different type of quarterback than Carson Wentz. So it's kind of which strategy could prevail. You don't really have a congruent strategy between the two of them. So I think we'll see this play out. I don't think both end up on the roster starting week 1 of next season. But I do think in terms of leverage, not giving away your game plan is going to be a positive thing for them.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Cynthia, you know, I was waiting for your spreadsheet on where the Eagles are from a cap situation, because that's going to be a huge factor in this. You know, we're going to need some algebra here to figure out how they get under the cap, given all of these high-priced players they have. So, you know, look, Coach Sirianni, you know, look, it's like the Siri app on your phone, right? He's going to be asked all kinds of questions. His first question is going to be, hey, Siri, who's my offensive line? Because forget about the quarterbacks. It's great that we have two. We don't want to have to go through both of them by week 3 because we have nobody to block. So the offensive line was an issue last year, and I think that led to a lot of the issues with Carson Wentz. So if they could fix things up front, give themselves a better identity offensively,